Do you guys know who I am? I'm Alexander Hamilton, and I was a member of the Continental Congress, an author of the Federalist Papers, a champion of the Constitution, and the first Secretary of the Treasury, where I helped found the first national bank, the U.S. Mint and Tax Collection Bureau that would later become the U.S. Coast Guard. As a Secretary of the Treasury, I was keeping the books for the United States. In that capacity, I collected the revenue and paid the bills for the nation. I had read extensively about banks and had a keen interest in how banks should be run to avoid usury or encourage wanton speculation and bubbles, which caused grave economic hardship and loss. People who went bankrupt in the 1790s were sent to debaters' prison. What are capital resources? They're goods that have been produced and are used to produce other goods and services. They are used over and over again in the production process, also called capital goods and physical capital. There is a relationship between capital formation and capital resources. Can you guess what it is? Capital formation is the making of capital resources, tools, machines, and transport equipment for future productions of goods and services. What capital resources does your stylist or barber use? I'll give you a second to think about it. It could be scissors, combs, clippers, blow dryers, or mirrors. Is a haircut an example of a good or service? Yes, the answer is yes, it is. How do we measure a country's output of goods and services today? Gross domestic product, or GDP. To measure the standard of living, we often use GDP per capita. What does per capita mean? Per person. GDP per capita means the amount of GDP per person in a country.
Do you guys know who I am? I'm Thomas Jefferson, and I was an American statesman, diplomat, lawyer, architect, and a founding father who served as the third president of the United States from 1801 to 1809. Previously, served as the second vice president in the United States from 1797 to 1801, the principal author of the Declaration of Independence.
I'm for National Bank because the bank would be a place for the federal government to deposit money raised from taxes. The bank could also provide loans to government and to businesses. I argued that Congress had the powers to create a bank.
I'm against a national bank because I believe it would give the wealthy too much power over national finances. I also feel that the bank was unconstitutional.
What do you believe?
Bank goes away.